Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really fascinating story from the Gato Times about how a brand new state was just formed in Somalia. And get this, it wasn't born out of politics, but forged in the fire of a pretty brutal conflict.
All right, let's get right into it. So in 2025, there's an announcement, a new administration for the Sul, Sanag, and Kain regions of Somalia. Now you might think, okay, just another political reshuffle, right? Well, not exactly. The story here, its real origins, are apparently rooted in decades of hardship and a really bloody war for self-determination.
So what's it called? Officially, it's the WAQOOYI Bari state of Somalia, but you'll also hear it called SSC Mahir. And for the people in that region, its creation is this huge pivotal moment, something they fought incredibly hard for. But, to really get why this is such a big deal, we can't just look at the present. We've got to go back. We need to look at their region's really difficult and, frankly, complicated past. And according to the author, this story really kicks off with a deep, deep sense of betrayal. See, after Somalia's government collapsed, the region first aligned with their kin in Puntland, but then they just watched as Puntland handed over control of their land to Somaliland, and get this, without even putting up a fight. What came next was apparently a dark period of oppression, even targeted killings. So you can imagine feeling totally abandoned by their supposed allies, the people. They just reached a breaking point.
And that breaking point, it led directly to a massive popular uprising. We're not talking about political negotiations anymore. At this stage, it was a straight-up fight for survival. What followed was a brutal, year-long struggle. And this wasn't some war led by a formal army. No, this was led by the local people themselves. The article says they showed incredible nafaqalnimo, which means self-sacrifice, all for the cause of self-determination.
And man, the human cost of this fight was just immense. It's so important to remember this wasn't just some political event on paper. We're talking about significant bloodshed, thousands of families displaced from their homes, and just unimaginable suffering for the elderly and children. This incredible sacrifice is really framed as the price they had to pay for their eventual freedom.
So the whole military struggle, it seems, came down to one single crucial battle. The victory at a place called Guzikade, that was the climax. That was the moment the people's forces broke what the author calls the enemy's wall and finally secured the region. It was their first huge major triumph. So, okay, the fighting's over. Now what? Well, the focus completely shifts from winning a war to actually building a state. As it turns out, the victory on the battlefield, that was only the beginning. And what came next is laid out as this rapid chain of 3 distinct triumphs. Step 1, the military victory. Check. Step 2, the political victory. Actually establishing the new state. Done. And finally, step 3, the democratic victory. Electing their own leader to guide them into the future. Now, the choice for the new president, a man named Abdul Qadir al-Ali, who goes by the nickname Ferdihe, is explained with this really powerful Somali proverb. It says, "The person who tied the knot is the one to untie it." The logic here is pretty clear, right? The leader who was central to the struggle was seen as the only one who could lead the new state through all the challenges that were sure to come. But this story doesn't just end with a celebration. Not at all. It actually finishes with a pretty stark warning about the huge challenges that are still waiting for this new administration. And this warning comes in the form of another proverb, this one aimed squarely at internal critics of the new government. It goes something like, "If your hand gets stuck in a narrow place, you don't hit it, you maneuver it out carefully." The message couldn't be clear. This is a delicate, early stage. You don't just smash your way out of a tight spot. You have to be careful. It's a call for patience and smart strategy, not just destructive opposition. And this warning about maneuvering carefully, it applies to external threats too. The article makes a pretty big claim here, that the leaders of Puntland and Somaliland basically have an agreement that says no administration will be allowed between us. If that's true, it puts this new WAQOOYI Bari state in a really tough spot, caught between 2 powerful and, potentially hostile neighbors. So, the whole piece in the Gato Times leaves us with this final, really pressing question. After everything they've been through, after winning a brutal war for independence, can they do it? Can the people of SSC Mahir navigate this 2-front battle, one for unity at home and another against pressure from the outside? It really makes you think. Their struggle for true self-determination, well, it might have only just begun.